cover of American Girl magazine, and then a national boycott came out against them. And their family was targeted. And the only place they had to turn to was gay fathers for support. That's family friendly to us. Or a group of dads, or two dads, or several dads, who a judge somewhere said, you're the biological father, but we need to make a social commentary on this, and we're going to separate you from your family and take your children away. We were the only group they had, and that's family friendly to us. And finally, to rally around two little kids, a little boy and a little girl from Miami, Florida. They'd been returned to the system not once, not twice, but 3 times. And a father in Miami said, can you find us these kids a home? And 2 fathers stepped up. And now those children are still in a home 3 years later. That's what's family friendly to us. So when we think about identity, we think about Facebook, and we want to thank you for opening up the virtual front porch of the world. And thank you so much on behalf of Gay Fathers.
Thanks for sharing. Thank you. Thank you, Brian. Okay, how about Keith from Meg's Mile Supporters? Do you want to tell us a little bit about fulfilling a need?
Yeah, and our story didn't start with really identifying a need. It had a tragic and unexpected start. So my friend Pam, who's here today, her daughter Meg Cross Menzies in January 2014 on a Monday morning put her 3 elementary school children on a school bus, then went out for a run. She was training for the Boston Marathon. She was an accomplished runner. And at 8 o'clock in the morning, a drunk driver hit her and killed her. And her life was over. A friend of hers who was touched like many of you just were, reached out on Facebook in the aftermath of that on Monday and said, hey, I really don't know what to do, but can we all this Saturday run for Meg? And over 100,000 people from around the world in 6 days responded, we're going to do that. And that following Saturday, 100,000 people ran over 1 million miles for somebody 99.99% of had never met. And so for us, when we looked at that, the question became, why is that? There are a lot of things that happen to people in the world. There are a lot of tragedy. What was it about this story that resonated so strongly with people? Because, we could put ourselves in that position. We want to help when something tragic happens to somebody. And so we wanted to give them something that they could do. And so where we started was, what was it about Meg? And it couldn't have been that she was just a runner. And what it was when we started looking, what resonated was Meg, first and foremost, loved God. Second, Meg loved her family. And third, Meg loved everybody in her life. And so what we did was we challenged people in our group, love God, love your family, love the people around you. And then that has played out in so many different ways. Last year we collected over 17,000 pair of shoes, and they are now on the feet of refugees in Syria. That was... So people had a need to do something for somebody else that they knew was going through a hard time. They didn't know how to do it. And thank you, Facebook. They gave us a platform to meet that need, not just meet it, but meet it in a very big way. So thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you. All right, how about feeling like you're a part of a larger conversation? Amanda, are you here? Hi, Amanda.
So I belong to a national grassroots organization called the Sisterhood of Salam Shalom, and we bring together American Jewish and American Muslim women to build relationships across our communities. So the reason why this group is important is that it provides a space. Why the national group is important is that you have these two religious minority groups that tend to be very insular. We're in a point in time right now where things are increasingly hostile in this country toward minorities of all types. And we've seen, even in the last 6 months, an enormous spike in hate crimes. And what we have are these women who have chosen to, rather than kind of go inside their groups, reach across and form friendships in their communities, in their real, in the real world communities, and build peace. Right, and it's not just about dialogue. We do community service. We do fundraising, lots of activities. But the group that we have on Facebook is so important. The membership that we have in the group is actually much, much larger than the number of chapters that we have around the country. And the reason for that is a couple of reasons. One is that there are women who want to participate in this kind of ongoing community, but they don't have access to a group in their, or a chapter in their areas. There's people who are in isolated parts of the country, a Muslim woman or a Jewish woman who might be in a rural area who wants to participate in this kind of ongoing dialogue, but they don't have access to it. So they can go to the group and they can actually be part of it, which is amazing. And then the other really cool thing is that it's enabled us to really make this a national movement. So now we've seen, since the use of the group, this exponential kind of growth, and we're able to coordinate a national conference that has doubled each year since it started 3 years ago. And we expect it to double again this year in November. We have coordinated, last year we did a national day of service, sadaqah and sadaqah. These are the Jewish and Muslim words for charity. And we did it on Christmas Day. Muslims and Jews all over the country, women got together and performed acts of charity and then went for Chinese food afterwards. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Amanda. All right, and last, culture. Is Jeffrey here? Jeffrey, we got to hang out last night. You want to talk a little bit about identity?
Well, absolutely. And bird watching, that's a nerd's delight. And I love all the different cool nerdy things that we're seeing here in the groups that are represented. But, we birders really were a social network before there was a World Wide Web. And we always had this issue of, we're out here reporting miraculous things. Stuff that you can't believe. You don't know whether to believe. And we have to figure out, do I tell the boss that I'm not feeling well so I can cut out and go chase this rare bird that this buddy of mine says that she just found, 2 counties over? It creates some problems, but you know what? We've always been good at managing it. It's like, golf. It's like anything that's built on trust and honor. You know who's cheating. You figure it out pretty quick. And the thing that when Facebook came along, birders just took to it like ducks to water, because suddenly we were able to share information so quick, because birds have wings, they don't stick around, so you want to get out there fast, and you do want to know, should I stay, should I go? The Rare Bird Alert allows us to make those decisions much more quickly and much more accurately. So we're really grateful for that, and not every rare bird that shows up is close enough for you to, go see it. But the thing is, I get to hear, what all my buddies all around the country, all around North America, all around the world are finding, the everyday miracles that they're seeing in their own backyards. And that is a huge part of my day. It's a huge lift, and it means so much to so many of us, along with all the other stuff that we all have to deal with. So, it's been so valuable for the American Birding Association to have Facebook groups because, as Mark said, how people relate is changing. There used to be membership organizations and people belong to professional societies and stuff. And